So some of the, I mean, for example, there are Freemasons that run churches. There are occult practitioners that run churches, and they can do it in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Because remember, Jesus is an inspirational figure to the occult. He's not like, they hate him for the claim of him being God, but they don't hate him for his wisdom. So this is where you get into something called theosophy. So anyone could do research on theosophy, which is really, I call it the belly of Satan when it comes to spirituality and spiritual practice. They see Jesus as a wise figure. That's why people may not serve Jesus, but they are interested in his inspiration. They'll quote him. So a lot of these churches, a lot of these organizations, you'll find hypersexual activity, particularly around their convocations. You know, people that are like, they're in brothels and stuff, but those are all satanic altars. They need that because that's how the prophets prophesy. That's how the atmosphere is created, because it's not created by glory. No one's following God. This is a system. So what you encountered was that sort of fraternal type spiritual system that's in a lot of these churches.
You're talking heavy.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. So let me show you how these are occult practitioners. When you look on the front row or the rows where these leaders sit, watch them during praise and worship. Most of them cannot lift their hands. It's not that they can't lift their hands. Most of them, they'll be watching, they'll be looking around, they'll be sitting down, crossing their legs. They can't worship God. A lot of these leaders, you will not see them break their back before the presence of God. You won't, because they're occultists. And with occultists have to fornicate. They have to. Like, it's not just, when you hear these random scandals of, oh, this one slept with this one, it's part of an altar. They have to. One day I have to bring Apostle Alfred to this. Like, you know, I have to bring. No, because we'll break it down. Like I'm telling you, like the West needs to be exposed to ministry gifts from across other continents, because God is not just moving in America.
Come on,
and voices can tell you from across the world. Like these are. I remember Apostle Alfred, we had a conversation about it, and he said, yeah, these are occultists. That's the reason why, you know, they're sleeping with their armor bearers and doing all of these different kind of things, because it's part of how they are empowered.
Oh my God.
Aleister Crowley, if you do research into Aleister Crowley, right, who is one of the Luciferian practitioners or founders of really Satanism, when he was in Cambridge, he studied in Cambridge, my alma mater, University of Cambridge. When he was there, he speaks about how he had a supernatural experience where the spirit that introduced him to the practices of Satan and all of these things was introduced to him through anal sex, penetrative sex, that he experienced whilst he was on a trip during his years at Cambridge. So I'm using this as an example to say that even people who are in the highest levels of the occult don't even just see some of these practices as just normal practices. They see it as this is transcendental spiritual experiences that are initiated through these practices. So, you know, people craving young men and their, you know, male leaders, you know, all of these sorts of things. What is it inside of them that craves that power? As I said, I pay attention to it all. The atmosphere is, I've had someone tell me they went to a church service and they didn't sense the presence of God, but the minute that the prophet got up, it's like he released his spirit and the whole room shifted. I said, that's clairvoyance. That's occult practice, where you are taught how to project your spirit onto an entire room.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah. So this is what they're doing. So you being introduced to this person, first of all, I believe that person was sent to you on behalf of a group of people that were already scouting you, which is what happens all the time. A lot of young ministers, you know, that I had the privilege of mentoring and pouring into, I've had to, especially in America, I've had to pull a lot of them out. I'm on a literal mission. This is the reason why the Lord told me I cannot be part of any denomination in America. I'm not part of any denomination in America.
I'm with you, though.
I'm in a local church here in America, and I bless God for my local church pastors, Reverend Dr. Aaron Graham and Reverend Amy Graham of District Church in Washington, D.C. That's the local church that I'm part of, and I'm still under my father and mother in the gospel, Apostle Alfred T.B. Williams and Reverend P. Elmer Williams out of London. I'm part of their ministerial alliance, Prophetic Voice Ministers out of London. So I'm a well covered man. I have a whole council of apostolic oversight, that I'm submitted to.
Amen.
That in my bylaws of my organization, if I was going crazy, they can take my organization from me.
Let's go.
That's in the bylaws.
Yes.
They could literally vote me out and take all the assets.
Let's go.
That's in my bylaws. I'm accountable. And I've had to learn that through pain. I've had to learn that through difficulty. I've definitely not got this right from day one.
Gotcha.
But I've had to learn the system of church and see, there are a lot of gaps here. But yeah, we have a lot of occult practitioners that are unchallenged in church, and they are sustained by an overemphasis on a culture of honor over a culture of worship.
All right, sir. You cannot see what you're doing is giving us 4 or 5 different episodes.
It's all part of the same thing. You know why I say it's all part of this same episode? Because at the root of it, this is affecting emerging ministers. This is affecting people who have a call of God upon their lives and they've not known how to navigate the journey. This is affecting all of them. Because at the end of the day, someone's going to listen to all of these principles and they're going to say, how do I find a good mentor? How do I find a good pastor? Okay, maybe the pastor I'm under is a good pastor, but then your pastor's an occultist. You know what I'm saying? Or your pastor is a Freemason, which is also another issue. So if I'm going to talk about idolatry in one place, let's talk about idolatry in every place. And sometimes what we call a culture of honor, honoring the man of God, honoring the leader, honoring the minister, is also, in many cases, high idolatry that is ignored. Because again, what you have experienced is what many people have experienced. Many people have experienced this. I was just counseling a mentee today, who was deeply involved, right, with a major denomination's musical director. Again, what do we do? This is because these are occultists in high places.
Yeah.
They worship pleasure. They have a goddess of fertility that they may not call by name, but they worship by practice.
Oh.